Krampus is a figure that is from folklore the origins are really kind of unknown. So a lot of people say it's from Austria and the Alpine area, German folklore. And the figure is really kind of almost, you think about it like the opposite of St. Nicholas. So the role of Krampus is to identify which children have been bad or naughty and then to punish them.
German legend, comes down from the mountains, takes all the bad kids in the sack.
Today, I think a lot of times people celebrate by putting out a boot outside their door, and then if there is a present in the boot, then they've been good, and if there's a rod in the boot, it represents that they have been naughty. Krampusnacht is celebrated by having one of these parades where people will dress up in costume. I think one unique thing about the Krampus costumes that appear in Germany or in Austria that's different than the costumes that we might see here is they're a completely different level of ornate sensibility in how they're created, and the masks are wooden and hand carved, and so there's a craft that goes into creating them as well. It's a pretty deep level of craftsmanship. So I guess I don't really know if kids today in Germany truly believe in Krampus. I think probably it's more of a story, and it's something that is a tradition and less of something that's thought to be truthful. But I think that it's fun, and the smaller you are too, I think when seeing maybe a Krampus at a parade or running around town at a gathering, it could incite some fear to maybe be better that day for mom and dad.
I think that kind of goes along with the increase of love for horror and scary.
Yep.
And you got those horror fans that want something out of Christmas too, so Krampus is where they tend to all go to.
Krampus, as we are finding out, is really catching on here in the United States. I think part of that owes to the film culture and bringing Krampus over in movies and in TV. And so I think that we were at the Quad City Botanical Center the other day for their lighting ceremony that was over the weekend. We were making masks and people were loving it. I mean, we were in a room with dark lighting and red lights shown and a person in a Krampus costume. And I was amazed to see how many people with kids, how many people even with babies would come in. And some people said that they celebrate Krampus more than any other type of tradition. And it was just fascinating to learn about how many people already knew about Krampus, and then some people that maybe were Krampus curious and wanted to find out a little more information.
Just making people happy, letting people see somebody that they can get excited about at Christmas that isn't Santa Claus or the Grinch. So something a little bit darker for essentially the weird kids, you know.
Maybe too, there's a certain interest in, like I'm thinking about Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas and this idea of wanting to combine things spooky with Christmas. And it seems antithetical, but it is kind of an interesting thought of what happens to the naughty kids.